Etapu, assalamu alaikum, namaste, Harun Nefer. This is Kisakma Keparu. Almost got my name wrong here. Wow. Kisakma Keparu here with another video for you. And in this video, we're going to talk about how the belief ecosystem is really the key to your power. We're going to get into that in detail. But before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe bell to get notifications of when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. And we have free ebooks for you that go more into my spiritual teachings. So if you want to follow that rabbit, simply scroll down, click on the links below, download those ebooks today and start reading. And if you are still following that rabbit and want to go all the way down the rabbit hole, you can become a Patreon supporter. You can do so for as little as $1, $5, or $20 per month. You will get exclusive access to the spiritual community. And you'll get your oracle readings if you're a SARE level contributor or supporter. You get all your oracle readings for free. And you'll have exclusive access to articles, videos on how to invoke spirits for protection, how to work with amulets, hypnosis, meditation, proper way to do meditation, astral projection, all of that great stuff. So become a Patreon supporter today. Last but not least, share this video with family and friends so we can get the revolution started. So Harun Nefer, how are you doing today? I wanted to bring this subject up because I think this is a very important subject. But before I do that, I got a little announcement here. I am relaunching my Waters of Nun water line, and you can see it here. Oh, you can't see it there because it is green screened out, but we're bringing that back. And if you're interested in getting the waters, check it out. There's a link below. Click on that link and you can check out the waters. Each water is basically charged, magically charged, and the water is specific for a purpose. So if you're looking for success, attraction, or confidence, there is a water for you. And each one is charged by myself, and we use binaural beats. We use the mantras, the hakals, the ancient hakals of the ancient Kemetic people, the Egyptians, or the Timeri people. And we also use some subliminal frequencies. And if you understand the science of water molecules, they can retain vibrational frequencies. And then when you drink them, they mix with the water in your body because your body is comprised of a lot of water. And that changes your core frequency. So you will be attracting success, love, harmony, confidence. So check out the waters. Waters of Nun, link is below. So let us move on and get into this detailed subject, which is the belief ecosystem. And I wanted to tackle this for a very specific reason, because I love speaking with the community, especially on Patreon. And you guys really pose questions to me, and I love that, as to why certain things work and why certain things don't work. And you should be living a magical life, meaning you should be surrounded by synchronicities. You should be manifesting things. And if you're not able to do that, then there is a specific reason. And we are all cut from the same cloth. I'm no better than you. You know, I've just been at this for more years, but you have the same power and potential. You see, Neter, Nebecher, God created us all equal, because we're all consciousness. You see, the ruling elite, the society, they want you to stay trapped in sensory input, meaning that they don't want you to believe in the metaphysical. They just want you to believe in what you can see before you. And if you understand the science of the visual spectrum, we as so-called humans have a very limited awareness of what we can see from the spectrum, very limited. And there are things that are going around that you cannot perceive and see, such as you have an infinite number of lives going on in this particular space right here, but you can't visually see it. But you're experiencing an infinite number of different lives, and there are an infinite number of versions of you that are going on and experiencing stories, fantastic adventures, wars, love stories, space battles. You are in all of those, but you don't believe that because you've been indoctrinated into the Western belief system of left brain concrete ideology, which these people who run the universities, the legal institutions, the government, they are immature, ignorant, deaf, dumb, and blind, and they're trying to teach you who your legacy comes from ancestors who were advanced morally and technologically. But your progress has been retarded by this backwards, dark, evil society. But that's okay. Because the great Chinese I-ching says everything serves to further. So even though you're surrounded by evil, it's going to push you to becoming God, Oser. It's going to push you to understand your sacred power. It's going to push you to understand your supreme wisdom and connection to the Akashic records, to Huti, Ba. It's going to push you to be a warrior, Haruka Huti, and do battle at Ben Hutet. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have been deceived, my brothers and sisters. You have been deceived. They have told you from the time of your birth that you are this thing called human and that you are a limited being. You have no control over the, quote, outside exterior world, even though quantum mechanics tells us there's nothing on the outside. It's all in here. But you have been fooled by Maya to believe that there's an outside world. That's okay. It's all code. It's the matrix code. And when you look and you observe, you are decoding it. It collapses into a singularity and brings to you one among an infinite number of realities based on your belief system. And I'm going to say this, and it may shock you. You may not accept it. I don't give a F, because it is the truth. It is Ma'at's truth. You are sitting here in your room, and you may have friends and family members in other states, maybe in other countries. They don't exist. They do not exist. Do you think they're making dinner right now, or maybe going to the supermarket, grocery store? No, they're not. They don't exist. They only come into form and shape when you observe them. Reality doesn't exist apart from the observer. So they cannot exist on their own. It is only when you want to make that connection, such as you call them and you go visit them, do you decode from the matrix that which you call mother, father, son, doggy, boss, co-worker. But when you are not with them, they don't exist. They do not exist because you must create them. Every day you must create them. Do you understand the magnitude of what I am telling you? It's just like a video game. Every time you take that joystick and you turn left, turn right, the computer creates scenery and it creates other characters. Those characters don't exist in the video game. There's no battle going on in the video game. It only comes into shape and formation when you press that power button. And you are the power. And I'm going to take it a step further. When you are connecting with a friend over, on the other side of town or another state, they don't exist in the same space-time continuum. They may exist in the past and you may exist in the future. This is called time dilation. You're not existing in the same space-time continuum. No, you're not. When you take a plane, do you know that when you're in a plane versus on the ground, that time is different by nanoseconds maybe, but it is different. See, they don't tell you these things. They're talking about, well, we're going to do space travel. We can travel from here to another solar system, come back. I'm like, no, you can't really do that. You got to be careful of what you're saying, because if you leave this planet and you try to travel to another planet, time is different. And when you come back here, it ain't going to be the same time, the same decade. It don't work like that. That's why the most beautiful film that really encapsulated this principle was Interstellar. Watch that film. Because when they went through the portal, the wormhole, or the black hole, came out on the other side, and they were visiting this planet, and they knew that if they go down to that planet, time would be different. Time would be different. An hour on that planet, when they left to go back to their spaceship orbiting the planet, 5 years will have passed, or 10 years. I don't remember exactly what it was, but an hour on that planet, 10 years would pass in their spaceship orbiting the planet. You must understand. Einstein saying that time is relational. So keep in mind that there are a lot of things that you're not being told and got up to speed on. And the really elite, they're masters of deception and lies. You see, they're not going to tell you how powerful you are. They're not going to tell you your real legacy, your real heritage. That would mean the end of their rule. They're not going to tell you that you can manipulate the very fabric of space and time. I said space and time, yes. You can travel through, project your consciousness through time to go to your past or go to the future. They're not going to tell you that. Why do you think they've launched this propaganda against the New Age movement? Why do you think every African religion or most non-Western religions, Santeria, Yoruba, Voodoo, Kemetic, Buddhism, Hinduism, has been vilified in modern media and propaganda? Hollywood spent so much money on propaganda to kill these religions. And they uplift Christianity, which by and large is responsible for some of the most horrific crimes on the face of the earth. Hinduism has never launched a campaign to kill people who didn't believe in their religion. Voodoo has never taken over third world countries in the name of their voodoo gods. They don't do that. So I want to get into the precise science of why some of you may not be manifesting and working this magic. I have spent a lot of time on perfecting this system of reality manifestation. And if you haven't taken my course yet, please consider it, because it's one of the most advanced courses out there that will teach you how to manipulate reality. You see, you have people teaching the law of attraction, and they get into very generalized things, and they don't get into the meat and potatoes, but we go deep down that rabbit hole, and I show you why it works and how you can make it work. And I'm going, in the reality manifestation course, I challenge and shock your belief system. And when you complete the course, and all the students say the same thing, they have a different perspective on life, and they now have a better understanding of who they are and what they can do. So I want you to check that course out, all right? But let's get into this. See, I try to simplify this and make it effective as possible for my YouTube followers, so you can go out there today, tomorrow, and start manifesting everything that you desire. But there are certain things that are restricting you. You see, limitations is governed by the goddess Sekert. But those limitations are okay because they help you to grow. But some of these limitations we call Sekert Tem. They're not good limitations. They can be too harsh, imposing too much limitations. And the limitations that we're facing now have been put upon us by the ruling elite, which is the mind manipulation. They have brainwashed us. They have screwed with our mind. They have hacked the collective consciousness of the planet. Let me say it again. They have hacked the collective consciousness of the planet and put in their thought viruses. So you're downloading viruses and you're uploading it to other people. And you're polluting the collective consciousness. I'm going to give you some scenarios so you can better understand what I'm talking about. So you know exactly how this is going to go down. And what I mean by that is how you're going to be able to use your power right out the gate. Because if you're not getting results, then shame on me. Shame on me. And I know my stuff is good. So you're going to get results. I'm always fine tuning and tweaking it. And let me tell you something. I'm always out there. I am meditating 4 or 5 hours a day. I am creating my reality. I am watching my belief system. I am reciting the affirmations and the truisms on the tree of life. I don't play. Do things work out 100% for me? No. There's always something that blindsides me. Because in your reality, you create autonomous people and you give them the power to assist you in your spiritual journey. So they're going to do things that may insult you or say things that may mess you up. But you just get back up and keep going. You understand? So I want you to think about this. Student came to me with a scenario, all right? And this is when I was doing a lot of magic in the dating coaching arena, right? And he says, can you help me to find a mate? Can you help me to meet women and go on dates and things like that? So of course, that's magic 101, man. That's easy. I thought you would come to me and say, can I manifest $500 million? I said, well, yeah, we got to shift you to a new parallel reality, and that's going to take some time, but we could do that. But I said, yeah. So we did the magical work. And what happened was this. He was meeting lots of women. He was flabbergasted. He was like, wow, this is great. But none of them wanted to go out with him. He couldn't get a date. Though socially, these beautiful women were coming in and out of his circle. But he couldn't get a date. So I had to break it down to him. See, this is why when I work with people in transmastery hypnosis, that's the program where I place people under deep state of trance and kind of rid them of certain negative ideas and beliefs that have been put in place by the let me not even call them the Illuminati anymore. We just say the ruling elite, the oligarchy, okay? You see, there are a set of belief systems that you possess. There's a primary belief, there's a sub-belief, there's a legacy belief, and then there's going to be a new belief. But all of this under the guise of what we call is the ecosystem. See, within your psyche, there is an ecosystem of beliefs, all vying for positions of power. Let me say it again. There's an ecosystem of beliefs, all vying for positions of power. Now, the belief that usually wins out and is the strongest is your legacy belief. That is the belief that has been empowered through many years of reinforcement and confirmation. And it really trumps all other beliefs. And it's very difficult because Sebek is a deity of belief. Sebek, you can equate him to Anubis. He's a deity of beliefs, right? So the saying is, if your beliefs are in line with truth, Sebek will open the way to your success. That's the truth. He will allow the energy to flow, because when your beliefs are not in line with truth, it's dammed up and energy cannot flow. And you cannot have access to your magical power to manifest, to manipulate the subatomic particles to bring forth a new physical reality. So you got to deal with those beliefs. So when that young man came to me and we did the magical work and he was getting these women in his social circle, but he couldn't get a date, I said, whoa, I know what the problem is. He says, please tell me. I said, you've got hidden in your belief a sub-belief. And let me explain that. I was able to impose a new belief system into his psyche, his subconscious mind, or the spirit, as the ancient Kemetic Egyptian people said. And that seed that I planted in his subconscious mind said, I attract beautiful women to me. And as he did, it manifested. But what you don't understand is that you have a sub-belief, or we can call it a subroutine. This subroutine typically hides behind the primary belief or the new belief. You see, I got rid of the primary belief, him thinking that he could not attract women. I nullified that. I got rid of that. But then what exposed itself was the subroutine. It was hiding behind that. And that subroutine said, women will never want to be in a relationship with me or date me. And then we had to deal with that. I had to eradicate that subroutine. Again, let me go back. His first belief system was women will never like me. I can never meet beautiful women. So put him into a hypnosis or trance state, got rid of that belief, and out popped the sub-belief or the subroutine that was hiding there, which said women will never want to date me. So we had to attack that. And when we addressed that issue, the energy flowed and he started manifesting relationships. Let me put it in another way, a different way so you can understand it. All right. A woman came to me and she was working on her startup company, right? So she said, can you connect me with wealthy investors? I said, for sure. So I showed her the magical formula to do it. And what happened? I think it took about 2 weeks. And suddenly she was meeting millionaires, angel investors, venture capitalists, and she was pitching her startup. And you know what happened? No one invested. Of all of these people, no one invested. And she came back to me. And what she did was the wrong thing. And I kind of chastised her about that, because when I saw her, she was revamping her business plan and changing around the concept. And I can't share that with you, but she was changing that concept. I said, there's nothing wrong with your prototype, your concept. There's nothing wrong with that. Do not change that. She said, but no one wants to invest. I said, you've got a subroutine. You got a sub-belief that's causing the problem. You see, first you thought, I could never meet wealthy people. So we nullified that belief system in trance hypnosis. Then out popped the subroutine, the sub-belief, which says, I could never get an investor to give me $2 million for this. And that was the key to holding her back. I said, if we address that, if we get rid of that subroutine, that sub-belief system, then you're going to get your investors. And she did. It's all a matter of understanding that you have an ecosystem within your psyche, and you're constantly accepting new beliefs, filtering out other beliefs that don't align with your already established legacy beliefs. It is very, let me break this down to you. And I've said this a number of times. It is very difficult hold on, let me address this question first. How come it's hard for people that are struggling to get money and shift to a better life? Okay, let me address that right now, all right? It all starts with your belief. It starts with the primary belief, the sub-belief or the subroutine, and the legacy belief. Let me explain. There is no difference in walking down the street and finding $1 on the floor and finding a bag full of $5 million. There's no difference. The only difference is it is a leap in your belief for you to believe that you can find a bag full of $5 million. You won't be able to conceive of that. Even though You are God, man, God, woman. Nothing is outside of your power if you believe it and you're emotionally empowered, because subject has to come with heteru. Heteru is the emotion, the visualization. I love Star Wars. Remember what Yoda said when he talked to Luke Skywalker, because Luke Skywalker was using the Force to levitate rocks, and then his X-Wing fighter fell in the swamp, and he says, I'll never get it out. And Yoda said, always with you. No, can't be done. He goes, Master Yoda, that's X-Wing is big. I'm doing rocks. He says, there's no difference. It's only in your mind. It's a belief system. It's no difference. See, if I say you're going to walk down the street and you'll find a bag full of $1,000, you may accept that belief system. That's plausible to you. But what isn't plausible to you is $10 million. And that's shame on you, because you've been indoctrinated into this society, this physical world where you believe that such things cannot happen, which is why you must challenge that belief system. And I give people an affirmation to do that. In my reality manifestation program, I say, why can't it happen? Why can't I do that? When you use that truism, it challenges the old belief system and it eradicates it. So if you say, well, I want to walk down that street and see a bag full of $10 million. Why can't that happen? Use that statement. Do you want to meet generous men? You want to meet a lot of men who are wealthy? Why can't you? You can. But your belief system is limiting you. It's holding you back. It's damming up the energy so that chi, kundalini energy can't flow. But it's all a psych game. You psyched yourself out and you don't believe that you can accomplish these things because you're told that you're human, you're limited. You've been lied to and you've accepted and drank the Kool-Aid. This is why I say, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you, all right? I'm going to be honest with you. You're not going to be able to overcome a belief system with an affirmation, just repeating it over and over and over again. It's not going to work. There's only two ways you can do it. Is reciting a mantra, an ancient mantra, or by going into a state of hypnosis and being reprogrammed. That is the only way. Because right now you're in a state of hypnosis. You are in a state where you believe there's a physical world. And you believe it to the core of your being. And the only way you can get that to change is if you go into a deep state of hypnosis. That's how it has to happen. Or I'm going to have to give you a mantra that you're going to have to recite over and over again so that you can vibrate your subatomic particles. Well, you're already vibrating. Nothing is solid. You're already vibrating. You're going to be vibrating to a new frequency, to a new parallel reality, one where the thing you want exists. So there's no difference between walking down the street and seeing a bag full of $10 million or finding $1 on the floor. It's the same exact thing. You've been psyched out by the ruling elite to believe it's a difference. There is no difference. It's like the Matrix when they said, don't try and bend the spoon to understand the truth. There is no spoon. These belief systems that exist in the ecosystem are vying for positions of power. And you have to know which ones to accept and reject. And you're going to have to take a deep dive, as the book called Psychonaut says, get into the psyche and see where you have the subroutines or the sub-beliefs hiding out that are preventing you from manifesting things. Although you may deal with the primary belief and you thought you've accomplished something, out pops the subroutine. They said, hey, I'm not going to let you do it. You're not going to manifest it. You didn't know I was here, did you? I was here all the time. Yeah. So don't think you're going to get that good-looking guy who has that nice car and he's like a CEO of a company. It's not going to happen. I ain't going to let it happen. I've been here for a long time in your psyche. I'm not going to let it happen. Oh, what? You doing hypnosis? Oh, okay. All right, can you give me some time to pack? Can I pack first? And these subroutines or sub-belief actually rule our lives. And we don't even know they're there because they're so buried within our psyche. And they're hidden by the primary belief. And if you don't ferret them out, they're going to place limitations on you. And they are powerful, and they're beyond your perception. They can, it will be so easy to tackle them based on primary beliefs because you know that they're there. A primary belief knows you're there. I can say, oh, I just suffer from low self-esteem. I know I have that. But really, what else is there? Is that really the root of the cause, the root of the problem? No, there's a subroutine in the background. Yeah, we can get rid of the idea that you're low self-esteem. I can put in place a new hypnotic, post-hypnotic suggestion that you are of high value. But when that subroutine comes out, then he's going to reveal what really went on in your life to create that subroutine or that sub-belief. And then when we eradicate that and filter that out, then you allow your power to flow. But this takes work. You understand? And that is correct. It's the Hermetic law, number one, all is mind. See, whatever is going on here projects it outward and creates a holographic experience so you can interact with it. And if you have these subroutines and limiting belief systems, you're going to create a world that's limiting, And you know how you're going to know this is happening? Because you're going to see synchronicities, which will give you an idea of what's going on. They'll let you know, oh, your life is limited. You're not going to go far. You're not going to climb the social ladder or the economic ladder. You're going to see signs and symbols. But you know what? You probably won't even see that because your third eye is so dead. Seriously, I'm being honest. Your third eye is just calcified. So you may not even pick up on the communication that you as God consciousness is trying to tell yourself. Because that's what's happening. Your consciousness is really wanting to communicate with you, and it's putting scenarios and people in your lives as a feedback loop to let you know you got some junk in the trunk. Your psyche's messed up. You got to clear that crap out. You got to do some spiritual work. When you're having a relationship and your mate gets on your nerve, you better sit down and meditate and ferret out that sub-belief. Your mate is not the problem, because your mate is an avatar. It's a holographic projection that you created to have a relationship with so that it could tell you something more about yourself. Do you understand that? Your mate is a mirror reflection of another aspect of your psyche, your personality. And if your mate does something, gets out of pocket, you must realize, whoa, what new belief system did I take on to cause her to act in the way that she did, or to cause him to be physically abusive? There's something in my psyche that is saying to me, fix me. And because I have not addressed it, I projected and created through the matrix a mate that would shed light on the fact that I got to fix some stuff. But we're so immature. We're immature beings because all we want to do is, it's not me, it's him. Not me, it's her. Wow, why is that job so bad? Well, no. Why did you manifest that job? Why she treat me like this? No. Why did you manifest her to treat you in such a way? It's all in your head. Is the ecosystem of the belief system. If someone is disrespecting you and mistreating you, don't allow it, but also understand the root cause of it is something that you're giving off, that your frequency is giving off. So check it, sit down, meditate, visualize a new outcome where the person respects you, and empower it with a strong belief and an emotion, and watch that person's actions change independent of you. We're lied to in this society by Cartesian logic that says there's a one-to-one correlation between all things. That's BS. That's BS. The world works through a web of interdependence and indirect relationships. Let me say it again. The world works through a web of interdependence and indirect relationships. If I want to change the government, here, I start visualizing, thinking, emotionally empowering a new government. Well, how can that be? Because it's my reality and everyone's just a guess. I'm creating this holographic experience to go through. It doesn't really exist. The only person that's in this holographic experience is who? You. Who are you? You are Neo. Who is Neo? The one, not the chosen one. Get it straight. Don't fall for that. Don't drink that Kool-Aid. If you accept the idea of, you have to be the chosen one, then you are saying that only a select few can manipulate reality. No, everyone can. Everyone. We're all cut from the same cloth. There is no chosen one. Neo is the one, the only one in his reality. He is creating Morpheus to teach him, to awaken him to the fact that he is God in the Matrix. The chosen one is a false Messiah. It separates you. It makes you think that you cannot be that person because only a select few are the chosen one. No, we all are the one. Having a holographic experience, my beloved. Being fooled by the experience to believe it's real. Because we are so good of a magician that we created something that is so authentic and real. And then forget that it was just a creation. One of many. You know, one of many. It all starts from your belief system. It all starts from how it is not a question of whether you can manipulate reality. That's not an argument. Like I say this, the ADOS movement or the Foundational Black American movement says that they want reparations. I agree with that. But they'll try to wrap you up in the argument and say, well, should they get reparations or not? That's not a question. They should get reparations. Shut the hell up. Well, can you really manipulate reality? That's not a question. Yes, you can. Shut the hell up. You wouldn't be here if you couldn't manipulate reality, because reality doesn't exist apart from the observer. There would be no reality without you. It is a subjective experience. And the only one that's in it is you, consciousness, experiencing it. So don't accept that false belief system that there's a chosen one and that you can't manipulate reality. Yes, you can. I don't argue and debate people over that. I shut that conversation down right away. Had a young kid come out of the Hotep community, Hotep in this and Hotep in that. Bunch of fools, ignorant buffoons, the most ignorant buffoons. I challenged him. He says, I want to debate you. I ain't debating nothing. I'm not debating anything with you. I'm not debating truth. Shut up. Plus, you're young and stupid. The white man has limited us. They the devil, they the enemy. No, excuse me, you dumbass Hotepper. Tutti tells us nothing has a quality in and of itself. Nothing is evil. Nothing is bad. It all serves to further us. Well, give me that sick hatred, sick prejudice and racism. How you gonna call yourself Cometian, running around saying nonsense like that? Preaching hate, preaching polarized thinking. Hegelian dialectic. You think, here we go. I have one, good, bad. I must have an opposing force. There's no opposing force. There's no opposing force. They are halves of a whole and they go together. There's no good, there's no bad. There's no thesis, there's no antithesis. You've been taught a lie. You've been bought into this whole idea of opposing arguments, opposing ideas. No. You have to think in terms of integration, synthesis. This is why when you start to do the shadow work and you work with your belief system, we don't necessarily want to get rid of the shadow self or necessarily delete or get rid of the belief system. We want to integrate that into you. We understand it. Because, let me explain something to you. You must honor certain belief systems that you have because you've had them for such a long time and they're not going to go away easily. So you must honor them until you can spiritually grow to a point where you no longer need it. You understand? This is why you can't argue with people that have them see the truth. All right, you have to understand where they're coming from and let them honor their belief system. Go and meditate and see them changing, and they will change. So keep that in mind. I don't want you guys going out there and doing something crazy like, hey, my magic says I can jump off this building and fly like Superman. No, you've got a belief system that says it doesn't work that way. So honor that belief system. Don't kill yourself. Don't do that. You understand what I mean? Well, I'm God. I can just walk onto this street, not look both ways, and nothing will hurt me. And then you get hit by a car because you didn't honor the belief system. Yes, you may get to a point where you can totally manipulate things and avoid conflicts, avoid things coming at you. But you have to give yourself time to grow into that powerful magi. That takes time. Okay? This is why, let me key you in on this. Let me hip you to this, right? And this is why we're in troubled times. Your belief system has got you so screwed up that you think that people think they can fight the ruling elite. I said, do you understand that the ruling elite, they're black magicians? They control time and space. They can make things happen at certain times and dates. They can travel through time and space. You got to understand who you're dealing with and respect that power because they got it from the ancient Kemetic people. Do you really think you're just dealing with people who have trillions of dollars and a large military presence? That's true. But they are working some serious magic, man. They scan the space-time continuum. They know what will happen in the future if they do X, Y, and Z. They're not playing. But the good news is you have access to that same power. God made that power available to us all. And all you got to do is just believe that you are God man, God woman, not human, as Quark from Deep Space Nine says, human. No, you're much more. You're much more. You don't even realize it. You don't even know how powerful you are. You don't know every day how you're manifesting situations and circumstances based on your belief system. So you've got to start introducing and indoctrinating yourself into a new way of thinking. And when you do that, you're going to see signs and symbols within the matrix that are going to say you're going in the right direction. You're on the right path. And you're going to see some extraordinary stuff, man. You're going to see some far out stuff. I've been in this game for, I don't know, what, 20, 25 years, and I still get freaked out on stuff. The other day, I'm walking in the mall and I saw these numbers appear, which were a synchronistic sign to tell me something, and I couldn't breathe. And I was like, whoa, all these years, and I'm still impressed by the power that exists. I'm still impressed by God's loving nature. God wants the best for you. God loves you. God would never put you in harm's way. People say, well, why is there suffering and all this in the world? Well, God gave you the ability of amen. To be at peace, be at peace in the face of the greatest obstructions. God gave you the ability to astral project to different realms, so you just don't have to be stuck here experiencing the strife. That's how loving God is. God would be a cruel God if he put you here with no means and measures to overcome the difficulties in your life. No, God gave you power. God gave you infinite power, Sekert. God gave you wisdom, Tehuti. God gave you truth, Ma'at. God gave you the warrior spirit to fight those who oppose you, Harukuhuti. God gave you a loving and devoted nature, Aset. God gave you logic, Sebek. God gave you love, harmony, Heheru. And God gave you the most important thing of all. God gave you a Ser within you. God put himself within you. So you share in God's power, wisdom. I want to thank you all for tuning into the broadcast. This is Kasank Maat Keparu, son of Maat and Tehuti. Maat is a beautiful goddess, Heteru. Till the next broadcast, Amen Ra.